Hey family, good to be with you again today. It's been a while since I made a video. I've been in the process moving. Um, Now that I'm settled in, I just wanted to reach out because I was thinking about the other day about the messages that we receive and the messages that we have and the information that we have. I have some notes here, so I'm going to be referring to them. I wrote like around 3 to 5 pages. No, I think it's even more than that. Maybe it's 9 pages. So we'll start off with the DNA. DNA is an expression. It's also a transcription, a messenger. There's a translation, initiation, termination, and ignition. Now, even in science, they break it down into these topics. So, we all know we're made in a divine image, but we have no idea and have no proof of that divine image. But there is something so beautiful inside of us that needs to be unlocked. That divine source I call the Mother Most High, Father Most High. It's the highest vibrational frequency. When I was growing up, um, went to church with my mother, and they said that in the Bible that God spoke, and when He spoke, the world was created. Granted, so we all know that speaking is a sound, and when you create a sound, it creates vibrations. When you create those vibrations, hence frequencies, and so forth. So, the most important things that I like to talk about is our words, our thoughts, and our actions. That's what I believe is the communication that unlocks the DNA. Now, translation, the definition of translation, processing of one word into another. Definition of messenger, a person who carries a message. Transcription, a written or printed representation of something. Expression, process of making known one's thoughts or feelings. Initiation, the act of admitting someone into a secret society or group, giving someone access into a group. Termination, the end of something, the final letter or the letter of a syllable. So, DNA has a process that deals with communication, and DNA has letters, and these letters are very important. There are many letters in that variation that uh, are separate and have certain messages in the DNA when unlocked. DNA differentiates us from one another. It can tell us apart, and it just lays there dormant. But the DNA is housed in water, and we are mostly water. We have these codes within us, these codons, and you have access to these codes, and you can only gain access with a key. Now, those keys, if I refer back to the list, those keys are expression, transcription, messenger, translation, initiation. Now, when we talk about DNA housed in water, we can refer to the experiments of Dr. Usuro Emoto. He had created these experiments where he had water and he put them inside jars and would pay positive or negative, or peaceful and relaxed. And the difference was perfection in the molecules compared to globs of molecules. So when you consider DNA expression, communication of water, and you are created mostly of water, the DNA is housed inside this water. Thoughts, words, and actions play a major factor in how the DNA is expressed because the environment is not conducive to its expression, giving birth to the knowledge and wisdom. That's why everything we are around matters. For example, the system. I've spoke about the system quite a few times: education, economics, entertainment, labor, law, religion, politics, war, sex. Now, they are given to us in a low vibrational language and a low vibrational frequency. So the low vibrational, the DNA may not express itself. For you to awaken as a star seed or a chosen seed or indigo child or astral child, celestial child, you have to understand that you are created in the most highest vibrational frequencies, and energies of the most high mother and father are hidden inside you. Some truths within are the DNA. The DNA in science, there seems to be messages, and scientists are able to create their own hypothesis. But the thing is, you or something inside of you will already unlock all of these things. If you are a chosen seed, you'll have it right then and there, and you walk in your spirit. If you are a celestial seed, the same thing. But it's got to be written in that DNA. Now, not all of us have the same DNA. Um, it, Not 100%. We have certain things in DNA that are the same, but there are certain type of messages. For instance, you maybe have written in your DNA to be the transcriber, or you may be the one that is the messenger. But you need to understand that inside that DNA, it's locked pretty well, and you can't unlock that unless you're walking in your divine spirit, your true nature. And you come here in your divine spirit and true nature. You learn all these low vibrational frequencies and thoughts and actions and words. So, being in the low vibration, access is denied to all the codes. That is why the initiation or the act of admitting to yourself or to someone in a secret society or group, that secret society is within you. That's each one of us has it. We all have to go through a death and a rebirth. And once we go through that, that's our initiation process. And it's vital to die to the old versions of you, reborn, renewed, free of all that you held inside. To be honest with yourself, integrity. Here's where the energy is alchemized and transmuted. In the high vibrations of the verbiage, the thoughts, and actions, that's where you can make it through. How do you know if you're a chosen seed? Well, the moment you begin to awaken, your environment changes internally and externally. And you see it right away. You feel it, you sense it. Those DNA codes, they give access to informational libraries. You did not unlock all of them, and you probably won't unlock all of them, because if you do, you probably won't exist on this earth plane. Now, once the DNA is unlocked, you have a deeper understanding of life, people, and you know what type of energy is carried from other people, places, and things. Their thoughts, their feelings, their words, their actions. You have a strong sensitivity, but in a good way. With your interpretations, whether it's a tree um, standing there giving you a message, or a bird coming by giving you a message, or a person, you have the understanding of existence. Understand the messages that are inside of you, because you're able to time travel, dimension jump, you're able to interpret your dreams, you're able to have knowledge of all things, because we are empaths, every single one. Now, when you're in your low vibrational frequency, you don't access those vibrations easily. But there is something within you that you can sense that person across the room, if they're good, they're bad, they have intentions, you can just feel those things. Now, like I said, you're an empath. And it's not because you research it, it's because you access the library that was housed inside that living water called your DNA. But you do not get access unless you go through the initiation process. So consider this. The reason why I say there's a chosen seed, a star seed, an indigo seed, and among a few, the chosen seed, let's put on one side, let's put a not chosen on the other side, right? Both people have invested interest on becoming the better version of themselves. So both are eliminating carnal nature. And to die to an unhealthy self of ego, practicing gratitude, having more positive thoughts, speaking more positive words, and doing more positive actions, that takes you into the better step of becoming who you are and walking in your good character. Now, the difference is when a person is not chosen, but they begin to vibrate in a higher frequency, their DNA begins to unlock. And there are certain things that they will unlock. But the library does not possess the same information that a chosen seed possesses, for instance. It is, however, an explosive understanding from ancient times, and you can access it without reading of it or discovering it or researching it. This does not mean that the works of the not chosen are in vain. You are here to conduct a specific assignment. That assignment is documented in the DNA. You have been given the assignment of being a messenger of some sort, or a transcriber, for instance. Now, you could be a translator. Now, the translator takes one word and translates it into a more easily and understood concept. The transcriber will have the assignment of writing down, becoming the scholar, documenting things. And the messenger, you have the message at all times. You understand you must pass that message on. Either way, all of this deals with some sort of expression, which is the DNA expression. You do not possess the knowledge in your DNA just for the sake of saying, oh, look at me, whoop-de-doo, too bad for you, I have this knowledge. That's not what it's about. But you know as a chosen seed, because you naturally come with the energy of humility, gratitude, because you're chosen. Everyone comes with a different translation or transcription expression, but it won't look the same because not all the DNA is the same. And you can see that we are all different. Our ways, our spirit, our nature, our mindset, our ways of thinking. So we would not be able to differentiate and tell one from the other if we didn't have something different in that DNA. You possess information. As a chosen seed, for instance, you possess information that was inherited throughout your lifetimes or through different cultures or through different ancestors. Well, either way, all of this is an access of a library of information from the most high source. This is not to say that people in our lineage do not have all these codes in their DNA, but they would not be given access to this information because they were not chosen to have the energy. Would not create the right environment, for instance. They won't create the right environment for it to express itself, for the DNA to express itself, or maybe even to express the message. Now, many of us are called, but few are chosen. Not everyone is willing to take on that assignment of being a Messiah or being a Christ conscious, for instance. Not everyone will take on that assignment. That's a heavy burden. There are some that will gain access to this information, and some of them will be selfish and may not want to share with others. Hence the oligarchies, your governments, your corporations, politicians. All of them withhold information and destroy information so that we don't have access to it. Now, the chosen seed has an assignment, for instance, just like you have an assignment. Doesn't matter who you are. We all have this assignment. But we're supposed to unlock that DNA. Now, if we can unlock that DNA, get in the high vibrational frequencies, that will unlock certain parts of the DNA, maybe even rewrite the DNA, because we know from past histories that if a culture is stressed out, tortured, killed, that rewrites certain things in the DNA. So for yourself, you can help yourself awaken to this communication by healing yourself. But it's difficult. We go through some tough times. Now, you can be an energy healer, a spiritual teacher. You can be whatever you want to be, but you have to translate, transcribe, express, be a messenger of some sort. That is why all of those terms are used for the expression of DNA. So make no mistake that the assignment is great, and there's a certain select few that are prepared for that. You are bringing the message forward because the whole objective to raise the vibration of all humanity is inevitable and important. No matter what color, creed, race, or people that you are, the object is to bring truth forward so that the whole of humanity can rise higher. But the fact of the matter is, no matter how high they raise their vibrations, they will not be able to articulate or communicate or gain access to certain information unless it is written and encoded in their DNA. So, this is where you are able to differentiate one from the next. Everybody must raise their vibrations. If you want to survive the shift that is happening energetically in the age of Aquarius, you have to use your free will. But those who don't, they'll fall just like the stories of Babylon. Those who do, whether you're a chosen seed or not, will be able to rise higher, create a new kingdom, new frequency, new energy. And with this, you establish your new environment. When you walk in that path, you've got to walk without that cockiness, without that ego, without that arrogance. Because that's the only way that you're going to fulfill your own destiny, even if you don't know your own destiny. It's about fulfilling an assignment that only a select group or people are able to fulfill because it's within their DNA. Inside that information, all of it's accessible to them. If they select a group and experiment on this group, just like they do in science, we have to select this person and experiment on this person. We have to do the work and go through the initiation process to transform and to go through death and rebirth. Because death and rebirth is that cycle. Now, you have to do what's necessary to maintain that energy so that you can access and unlock more codes. So this way, you can express and decode information. Now, how does one deal with the inherited issues of purification? Your initiation process. That's how you purify yourself. You purify yourself with good intentions, good verbiage, good actions. And the more that you do that, the more that you'll terminate the old ways and the old ego. And then you could throw away all that junk, you die to your rebirth, and then this ignition of the fire inside of you, what they call like the sacral chakra, that'll spread. Purification follows the ignition of the heart. So if you could understand that everything is connected in this world, then you'll understand that the DNA is a world wide web. If I heal myself, parts of you heal. If you're in my environment, parts of you heal. There's also connections all around the world that you know that people are doing the same thing. I'm not the only one speaking of it. I remember when I was little, my mother took me to church and they were reading the Bible and they were talking about 144,000 people would be saved. I couldn't believe that, especially if there was an unconditional divine being. Back then, we called it God. There's many names for it. I mean, for instance, like Santa Claus, there's many names for Santa Claus. He speaks all the languages. He's able to be everywhere and lickety split and does it in one night. So now you know that the divine being that created us or created the world with this one vibration. And this highest of all vibrations manifested, and that's where you get your frequencies and so forth. So if you understand that there is a universal language, that universal language is vibration. You can see that they do it in our entertainment with our music. Back when I was young, music was played at 432 megahertz, and now I believe it's at 538 megahertz. So it changes the frequency inside the body. You also have uh, a new age of digital uh, frequencies. When I was a kid, we had radio, UHF, VHF, so forth. And all of that played its part. And we have to go through these crossroads. You know, there's a divine crossroad, a good crossroad, a darkness crossroad, and a bad crossroad. And the key to these crossroads are the curiosity that you have inside to investigate and use the determination to make an informed decision and to choose for yourself. Of course, it's important to study all of these things, but you can unlock all of these things. You could sit there and study verses, songs, literatures, rituals, and everything that's essential to the proper practice of our spiritual path. But perhaps the most important thing is to learn how to recognize the presence of divinity and spirituality. This happens through the head, through the heart, through the gut. So don't get caught up in technicalities of practices that you miss the presence of divinity and spirituality. Our spirits are dynamic and alive. They are not figments of our imagination. So I just wanted to reach out, give you some information. If you want to go out, research yourself, great. But if you want to go in and research, fantastic. Because you could have an understanding when you're reaching out and doing all those studies. But when you go inwards, you have an inner standing. Once you unlock that inner standing, you'll come into understanding of who you are, what your path is, and what you need to do. So I just wanted to reach out, tell you guys I love you in Lakesh, and I'll speak to you soon.